Hi, I'm Dan in nature. I'm currently listening to the sound of wind at many levels. I was mindful of the wind just now, and then I was mindful of my anxiety because I was getting cold in the wind. It's okay, I have a solution for that. I use the word solution because my mind is set on seeing things as problems. Or maybe I use the word solution because that is my natural tendency. Or maybe I use the word solution because I don't have free will and someone told me to. Those are some big topics to parse out. Honesty is the one I want to parse out today. I really value honesty. I really value honesty. And sometimes I'm not ready for what someone perceives as honesty. Ready for. It's life. I can't be ready for anything. I can think I'm ready. I can prepare myself. That's different than being ready. I think I'm always ready for anything. Sometimes I'm ready for some bad stuff to happen because that's what's happening. And I don't like it. And I feel anxious, vulnerable. Other feelings, lots of feelings. Usually ones that I don't like, that are uncomfortable to sit with. And I make it through. Making it through is another phrase to parse out, but I do make it in some sense. I always make it in some sense. And that is one of the joys, wonders, mysteries of being alive. It seems like everything is survivable until it isn't anymore. So far I'm still alive, so I'm both very lucky and alive. There's a big piece of wind. I'll let it pass. Sometimes I feel like everything is equally important, and that makes it very hard to make choices. This is great. Now we're listening to the rain. Here the wind comes back. Maybe it'll take this form for a little while. We'll see. I think at my core, I believe that I choose my actions, my words. And when I let them just come out, they can hurt me, they can hurt you. I choose my words and my actions. Sometimes I don't, but I try to when I'm speaking to other people. And I try to when I'm speaking to myself. I talk to myself so much. It's hard to choose my words carefully and decide what direction, and not feel extremely anxious about it all. Maybe that the feeling is what makes it hard. If it didn't feel like I needed to clench my teeth or my chest or my shoulders, maybe it would all just come out. I think it would. I think that is here I am again, choosing my words carefully. I think that is a fallacy. I think there's so many truths out there, different versions of honesty. How I tell a story is as important as the story itself. Every story sets some kind of an example. I hope my stories set good examples. Sometimes people like to set good examples by giving example to the bad example. Don't do this. Don't do that. Rather than, please do this. It seems easier to set the bad example, like there's like less of them maybe. Don't be like me. Well, I think I need to start setting an example. There we go. Careful with the words, Dan in nature. I want to set a good example. I have many good reasons. I can count 4 of them. Who might be cozy in their beds right now, I don't know. That are on my mind often. I can keep counting. I can count 5. I can count 6. I can count 7. I can keep counting, but I can count reasons for why I want to be a good example. An example that I would like if I was them. And I can't be them, so it's kind of reaching a little too far. But I can reach as far as I want, and I'll get as far as I can. And I'm okay with that, because that's the best I can do. So I'm going to reach to be a good example. And I won't always make it. Got distracted thinking about my hot tub. I'll mention briefly, I have I think it's a 4 foot wide, 3 foot tall hot tub. It's a octagon. Yes, it's an octagon. And I live in the woods without electricity other than a battery that I charge once every week or two. I don't even have a car at the moment. I really live in the woods. On a road, even it's a paved road. Like 20 miles from town. 3 miles from the nearest small town. And I have a hot tub. Well, that's a lot of wind. And I heat that hot tub with wood in a fire pit that passes through a copper pipe that's powered by heat and gravity. Wow. And I am able to harness the energy and heat and the energy and gravity to create not a perpetual cycle, because I have to keep feeding the fire with wood, but I have harnessed a tub that I got up to 108 degrees. I got up to 108 degrees, then it got too hot and I had to add some cold water and put out the fire because it was too hot. With wood, heating up a copper tube that heats up water that passes through the copper tube. Gravity pulls it in, pressure pushes it out. Pressure from heat. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about my hot tub for now. There's so many thoughts. Which ones will I choose to bring out into spoken word? That's an important question to me. And I would like it to be an important question to everyone. Because as I've mentioned, my thoughts affect my words. My words affect your thoughts. Your thoughts affect your actions. And my thoughts affect my actions, and my words affect my actions. And in all of these different ways, we can think about how your words and your actions can affect my thoughts. And so it's very important to me where I choose to listen and what I choose to say. And when I choose to say it. And that is what I want to talk about today, is that honesty is speaking or demonstrating your own truth. And I hope that I can be honest with myself, and I'm not always, and I'm trying to be. And I hope that you can be honest with yourself. And I hope that when I listen to this, I can hear that said back to me as well. And that's what I mean about being a good example. Someone who I would like to see and interact with. And that is someone who is open and honest and chooses when to share different parts of their truth. Because I can't take it all at once. It'd be information overload. I don't think you can give it all at once. It would be more than you could express. Because you have so many, I have so many parts of myself that I want to unite, and they're united in me. And I'd like them to be united in all of us. And that happens when we're honest. And it starts with being honest with myself. And it also continues by trying to be aware of when other people are ready to hear, to receive. Because in telling my truth, there's a gift, a giver, and a receiver. And in order for the thing that I give, whether it be honesty or a present or a example, is only a gift if it's ready to be received. And I don't know when they're ready to be received. And so I have guesses. And I have ways of helping me know if that person is ready to receive. Helping me to know that you're ready to receive what I have to say. That's a skill. Helping you know, feel, helping you feel. Helping you, not making you, helping you, supporting you in feeling like you can tell me something is a skill. I think it's a skill that I've put a lot of attention into. There's a lot of rain here. There's a lot of rain here. The rain supports the redwoods. The redwoods support my shade and protect me from heavy winds. Not just redwoods, there's a lot of trees here. I can hear a chainsaw in the distance. I have my own chainsaw. I think that there's a car. Now you can hear how close I am to the road. Pretty close. Pretty close. My property goes back about 1,200 feet. I don't know. Far. It'd be nice to tape it out and measure. See, I'm kind of talking to myself in this podcast because, well, for lots of reasons, but I expect that these words will be helpful to me. And maybe these words will be helpful to others. I don't know. You'll have to be your own judge of yourself. I can't judge you because I can't be you. I don't know what suffering you have endured. I know that it is both the same and different than mine. That's a nice sound. Thinking about the future right now, and I'm getting a little anxious. There's a lot of ways the future could be. And I get to be a part in making it as long as I'm around. And longer. Because my memory will be here. Or the memory of my memory will be here. I remember people who have affected me greatly in my life, and I learned from them, and that is what makes I think that's what makes me better. Better than previous versions of myself, because I can't be better than them, because I didn't go through the same struggles they did. I didn't suffer in the same way. I guess there's one more thing I'll say before I go inside, and that is that I want to live sustainably in this forest. And part of that means cutting down trees that might fall on me, and also cutting down trees that I use to keep warm. And that means that I have to let a lot more trees grow. If I cut down, a tree that's like 50 or so years old. That's an idea. I live on almost 4 acres. It's a lot of trees. So I'm going to want to calculate. What is the amount of carbon that's brought into a tree in a year, or in 40 years, or in 88 years. I want there to be some really old trees here, so I don't want to cut down the oldest trees. Plus they suck in the most carbon. They get bigger by a larger factor every year, the bigger trees do. In a year, a tree covers its entire, under the layer of bark, but underlayer in a certain thickness of carbon, some version of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. And that carbon, that hydrocarbon, we'll call it, will one day get cut down by a person, or fall down and get cut up by a person, and seasoned and chopped into firewood and burned, and releasing that carbon back into the atmosphere. Maybe in the form of carbon dioxide. That's a carbon with 2 oxygen atoms attached to it. Carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is one of the things that keeps our atmosphere warm. Not too warm, hopefully, not too cold. Without enough of it, we could find ourselves in an ice age. And with just the right amount of it, we get to sustain a large variety of life on this planet. Life that benefits us. Like mushrooms, trees, fish, chickens, eggs. I heard taro root is good. Taro. And that is what I'm trying to create, is to make this 4 acres sustainable for me and my family too. It won't be. I won't be able to show, but I'll be able to convince a lot of people that it won't be sustainable. Not without some caveats. And what does sustainable mean to me? And that's for another podcast. And that involves me cutting up wood that I can use to warm my place that I keep dry, whatever that place is. Right now it's a tent, but I hope it's like a cabin or something one day. Maybe a cave. I can have electricity, right? I can have electricity, but to have electricity, I've got to generate it myself. with firewood or with eating food and burning calories in my body. All right, this podcast is almost over. Let's see. I'm going to wrap it up. I talked about sustainability in 4 acres. I'm going to talk about that again in another episode. I talked about the sound of the wind and the protection from the trees. I talked about honesty. And different ways to express honesty. And different times to express it, honesty, in different ways. I talked about wanting to be an example, a good example, one that I would want to see in this world. And I talked about how using words, choosing my words carefully, it's a value. It's a value. It comes from other values of honesty, of being true to myself. And I feel like, oh, this is good rain. I feel like I will feel more comfortable inside of myself when I no longer have to tell lies. And so I choose to be honest. And part of being honest is knowing not only what to say, but also when to say it. And part of knowing when to say it is knowing when the receiver is ready to receive it. And a part of knowing when I want to choose to say a particular part of my truth is feeling like the other person is ready to receive it. How can I know when another person is ready to receive my truth? I feel like I build trust with that person. When I am present, when I am mindful of being in their presence. I use the tools I have, and the tools I have when I'm on the phone with somebody is my language, my time. I have other tools, patience. A tool I've been practicing more and more is active listening. what that means to me is when I hear words or see facial expressions, which I can't see on the phone, or hear other sounds, I am aware of them. I'm aware I don't know what they mean. And I'm also aware that bringing attention to them could create anxiety. And maybe bringing attention to them means getting through them. Oh, this is cool. I'm outside. I can see the sky just got brighter even though it's raining now. But I think it's going to start raining. So I think this is where I sign off. This is Dan in Nature. See you later.